Did you start out of your car with food?
No, I did.
You come on.
No, I really did.
You're the largest community food bank in the state, but you started in 75 out of a car. Tell me how that happened.
Well, I was not planning to have a big operation. I was just trying to find people in my area who might be having a problem with not enough food.
Why?
Well, I gave my phone number out to the local hospital, the welfare department, houses of worship, anywhere that I thought they would be in contact with them. I live in Summit, and so there were some people who said to me, "You're new to Summit. We don't have hungry people here." We did then. We do now. And
more now.
Oh yes, more now everywhere.
Worse?
Yes. I mean, we just distributed this past year almost 40 million pounds of food and groceries, so much more than my car could ever hold, and yet it wasn't enough.
We now remember someone who really made a difference in the lives of so many, particularly those who are dealing with food insecurity, hunger issues. Kathleen DiChiara, and we talked to Josh Weinrich, who was in fact very much involved with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey as a Board of Trustee member. We had Kathleen on many, many times. I think we saw a clip coming into this segment of an interview with Kathleen. She mattered in a lot of ways, but what struck you about what she gave back and how it made a difference?
Starting in her car, knowing that there was a need in her community for people who need
1975.
Food. 1975, taking her station wagon around and handing out food. And from that to what the Community Food Bank is today, handing out 100 million meals annually, one of the largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organizations. And her legacy lives on through this organization and the work that continues to be done to help the most vulnerable here in New Jersey.
Yeah, 2013 New Jersey Hall of Fame honoree, someone who we do a series called Making a Difference. And boy, Kathleen made a difference every day in the lives of so many. Let's honor her right now. We're now joined by Josh Weinrich, who is a board member at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Josh, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Steve.
Our mutual friend, Kathleen DiChiara, what made her so special and what impact did she have on this state and nation?
Wow, where to start? I mean, I think at her beginning, 1975, out of the back of her station wagon with some donated food from church, she distributed into Newark. And that was a beginning for her that, never ended. Kathleen saw a problem and led by example from the very beginning. And if you just, you know the story, I think as well as I do, I think 7 years or so later, we incorporated the food bank, and from the back of her station wagon, that first year, we distributed 150,000 pounds of food. And I think when you think about Kathleen's story, and she told it as she went, that you can't, she didn't do this alone. What she did was she identified something so fundamental, that there were people desperately in need of food, and she knew that there were resources available, and she figured out how to, not just to connect those two things, but how to raise awareness and build a team so that she could do that in scale. And that's what was really remarkable. I mean, if you think about, building something big and, in our daily life, getting people to agree on anything, it's complicated. I mean, complicated.
But Josh, let me ask you this. Beyond her skills as an organizer, building a team, raising money, being persuasive, and trust me, as a friend and someone who had Kathleen on so many times, it was hard to say no to her. But the question I wish I would have asked her this more on the air. Why do you think she cared so much about so many people she never really knew who were struggling without food?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question to ask her. I guess a clue might be, when you talk to Kathleen about anything, her family crept up into the conversation. we all knew more about her family and what was going on and how much she loved and cared for them. And I think when she thought about other people who couldn't provide for their families at the most fundamental level, I think there was nothing more abhorrent to her. And I think that's it. I also think there's once you see something in the way she saw it, that this was, a huge problem, and it was solvable. She was driven to make others see that. She was almost like, how can you not see that? I mean, one vignette I remember early on. I joined the food bank about 20 years ago, and when I first joined, one of the things that I was uncomfortable with was asking others for help. I wasn't good at it, and I didn't like it. And I talked to Kathleen about that. I was like, "Hey, give me another role. Give me a broom." And Kathleen sat me down and said, "She said, Josh, you're not asking people for help. You are giving people an opportunity to do something that is important than most of the things they do in a given day or week or more. And they should be telling you thank you." Now, I first, I kind of laughed, but she wasn't joking, and I
She was
internalized.
right.
She was totally right, and it was so heartwarming. One of her legacies is that when people are asked and they understand that they can play an important role to change people's life, to reduce misery, they're delighted, and the goodwill that comes from that is huge. And the fact that they're not a friend of the food bank or not giving is almost always because they're not aware of it. They don't know about it.
Let's do this. Let's also make sure that right now the website for the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, our longtime partner, is dealing with public awareness around food insecurity, issues of hunger in this state, in this region. Let's put it up right now as I ask Josh this question. What do you think, Josh, what do you think Kathleen would think, and how do you believe she would act as a leader given our circumstances in 2025?
Kathleen would not be at a loss. Kathleen was so focused on mission, on what the task in front of us was, that and when I had asked her this question a long time ago, there's many different disruptions that have happened over many of the last 50 years for sure. And Kathleen said it starts with hunger. It starts with food. And so she was never at a loss of what do we do. There's people out that are hungry. We do what we can. Another way, Steve, to look at that question is, now the food bank is putting out about 100 million pounds of food a year, but we also know we're probably missing 180 million, isn't that a good estimate, of the meals we're missing. And
you're not missing meals; you're missing people.
Meaning the meals that are missing, Feeding America helps to do demographics.
People are going hungry.
Yes. Yeah.
How would worse than better? Are we better off making progress, or is it worse than ever?
First of all, Kathleen taught us to count what we can do and then shake what we can't. And so the answer is, we're putting out 90 million meals, 100 million pounds today, and that's what we're able to accomplish. There are more than that missing meals that we still have in front of us. And yes, with a changing landscape, there's going to be all kinds of curveballs, all kinds of new cooperation required to pull together to address that. And Kathleen would say, "Head down, let's get at it." The other legacy that Kathleen left us beyond just food is that she showed that a community pulling together what we can accomplish. And that has an ability, it tells us, we can accomplish anything. And this is one amazing example right in front of us.
Hey, Josh, thank you. Thank you for helping us remember Kathleen DiChiara. She never sought a lot of attention. It was never about her. No big ego. Just cared deeply from the back of her station wagon back in 1975, saw a need, didn't talk about it and complain about it, didn't ask or expect someone else to do it. She stepped up with a lot of other people. For everyone particularly Jackie Chicarico and our team, and remember them and one-on-one. We thank you for watching. We'll always remember Kathleen DiChiara.
Remember Them with Steve Adubato and Jackie Chicarico is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. PSEG Foundation. NJM Insurance Group. The New Jersey Education Association. United Airlines. Kane University. New Jersey Sharing Network. And by the Turrell Fund, a foundation serving children. Promotional support provided by NJ.com.